third grade. Today we're going to move forward and complete the Unit 7, Week 1, Day 4 lesson. So let's get started. A wash ah. A squash ah. A Alaska E ed eh. I animal or I champion E. O octopus ah. U mule U. U rule oo. U pupil U. U flew oo. Y cry I. Y baby E. Nice job. All right, today we're going to have another word of the day. So if you look up here, I have that our base word is going to be 2 syllables, and I am attaching the suffix ing. So our base word is copy. Say it, copy. Now remember, the first syllable is cop. You should know how to spell that just fine. Op. Here it is. And our second syllable, this is one of those exceptions. Normally, it's Y doesn't like to be by itself. That's why normally you double the consonant. Remember, like funny or happy. But the exceptions were study and copy. So in those 2 words, Y is by itself in the syllable. Okay, so our word of the day is copy, copying, copying. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Before I mark it, let's get out your student notebooks, please. All right, turn to the vocabulary section. I have to find it. Find the C's. Let's see. Oh, we've had a lot. We've had crunch. We've had catches. We've had confident. So if you've been here every day, you should be adding copying to page 61. On the top of page 61. Go ahead and spell it first. COPY, write neatly, and then ING. Copying. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and get ready to mark this word up because you also need to mark it on page 61. So, let's scoop cop. That's 1 syllable. Scoop E. And what do we do with our suffix always? Circle it, right? Okay, now I know mine up here looks pretty spread out, but yours on your paper should be all your letters should be close together. It's 1 word. All right, now look at our first syllable, cop. What kind is it? Closed. Short vowel gets a brev. E, all by itself. It's making a long vowel sound, so it is open. Yeah, it's not closed in. That's why it's long. And we're not just putting a macron on top of the Y. We have to indicate, remember, does it say I or does it say long E? We have to mark that above it. So in this case, I'm not going to mess up today. It is going to be sounding like a long E. Copying. All right, so take your time, make sure that's spelled right and marked accurately. Okay, just to double check on top of page 61, it should look like this in your student notebook. Copying. And now we should be ready to get the sentence. Let's go with we, capital letter, are copying We are copying notes in class. That's it. We are copying notes in class. I hope we remembered that when we attach a suffix that has an I, that starts with an I, we do not follow the rule we've been talking about. We don't change the Y to an I, right? Because then it would have two I's together. That's why we kept the Y in copying. But if we change this word to copied, what suffix is in copied? ED. Does that suffix start with an I? No. So in that case, we would change the Y to an I and add ed or whatever suffix, as long as your suffix doesn't start with an I, right? Okay, let me read that sentence one more time now that I make sure we understand that Unit 7 rule. We are copying notes in class. All right. Let's see how you did with spelling. It should have been pretty good. We are copying is our word of the day. Notes. That's a vowel-e word with a suffix to make it plural, right? In class. Give a bonus letter at the end there of class. All right, to scoop it up. Did you scoop? I'm thinking, see if you agree with me. Here's what I like. We are copying notes, one scoop, in class. I don't know, maybe you came up with something else that sounds good, but that's my opinion. We are copying notes in class. 2 scoops there. All right. To make sure that we have that Y spelling rule down, I want to make sure we practice with a couple more words. All right, you'll see up here, I have 2 syllable frames for my base word, and I also have ing. That's a hint, right? So if my base word, we already did copying, let's try the other exception, studying. Stud, right? Spell it out loud with me. Go. S-T-U, stud, D. What's in the second syllable all by itself, which is not common, I know? Y. And I'm using this pink vowel card because it sounds like a vowel. Stud-ing. Now, do I have to change the Y to an I here? No, because it would look bad having 2 I's back to back. I'm going to try to put these as close together as I can to make it look like, whoops, covered up the Y there. We don't want to do that. There it is. Studying. Okay. And don't forget, when you mark it, we were having trouble with this. When you mark it, you don't just scoop the base word. If your base word is more than 1 syllable, you have to scoop the syllables. So in this case, it is studying. Okay. Do you remember the only other thing you have to do? You have to tell what the Y or the I, if you had to change it, is saying. In this one, it is a long E. Good job. If my word, let's make sure we understand. If my word was studied, last week I studied very hard for the test. What suffix is at the end of that word? Ed, right. So if I am attaching a suffix that starts with an E, what's my Y spelling rule? There we go. Change the Y to an I and attach your suffix that doesn't start with an I, right? Okay, very good. See the difference. Okay, and there is another suffix that we haven't done too much with, but it also starts with an I, ish, I-S-H. Let's try the word baby-ish. So sometimes I like to just think of the base word, baby. B. Bay is what? B-A, right? B is in baby, B-Y, right? B-Y. So let's think about this one. Here I have that Y acting as a vowel in an open syllable, and I'm about to attach a suffix. Does my suffix start with an I? It does. So I don't change the Y to an I, right? It's just baby-ish. Good job. All right. The last thing that we're going to do today is a dictation composition book. So take out your composition books, and we are on page 23. Page 23. Turn there and get the date at the top of page 23. Okay, the first sound that you are going to write is Z. Say it. Z. Two things, write them, go. Okay, let's see. I want you to answer yes if you got these sounds on your paper. Check your work and fix it if you need to. For the sound Z, did you get Z, zebra, Z? Yes. Did you get S? Yes, because sometimes as a suffix, like in the word bugs, I always use that one. I know there are more words, but for some reason I always go to bugs. It sounds like a Z, doesn't it? All right. Hopefully you got those two easily. Now let's try. These next three we've been having some troubles with, so we need to make sure we're practicing. Number 2 is Say it. Three things. Write them. Go. All right. Let's see. Again, respond with yes. Ready? Or if you didn't, don't say anything. Just write it down and fix. All right, here we go. For do you have you, up, Yes. How about A, Alaska, Yes. And I, animal, or eh. Okay, good. Let's move to number 3. Your next sound is E. Say it. E. 4 things. Ready? Go. And you have to write neat and use commas to separate. I know the space is getting tight, so you can't write too big, and you've got to be neat. All right, here we go for E. Did you get E-E? Yes. E by itself. Yes. Y baby E. Yes. And the trickier one, I champion E. All right. Last sound. Number 4, it's I. Say it. I. 3 things. Get going. All right. Let's see. Did you get I-E? Yes. I by itself. Like I, hi, I. Okay. And why cry I? All right, very good. We should be getting better at those trickier sounds. Now we're going to go to the review words. Okay, your next section is for review words. Number 1, the word I want you to spell and mark is planets. Say it. Planets. There are several planets in our solar system. Be careful of the schwa. Use your spelling options notebook if you need to. Planets. Go. All right. I'm worried too about your scooping. I know there was a suffix because it was plural, planets. You should have circled the suffix. But that base word, plan it, has 2 syllables. I should see 2 scoops that make sense. Some of you yesterday were doing scoops willy-nilly. You can't do that. You have to keep it. Plan it. All right. How'd you spell plan? P-L-A-N. And then I'm nervous. How did you spell it for planets? It's E-T, right? I put the schwa symbol because I know it sounds like it could be I, but it's not. It's a schwa. Plan it, plan its. Plan is a closed syllable, and so is it a closed syllable. Okay. Planets, double check. Number 2, your word is revise. Say it, revise. You should work to revise your writing to make it better. Revise. Go ahead. All right, I'm pretty confident you got the first syllable correct. Spell it, R-E. Vise. I'm a little bit nervous about this one, but how'd you spell it? V-I, did you do S or Z? S. V-I-S-E for revise. And is an open syllable, long vowel. Vise is your vowel dash E. Long vowel, silent E. How'd we do? Let's spell it together. R-E-V-I-S-E, revise. All right, down to the next row for number 3. Your next word is, nag, nagging. Say it, nagging. My mother was nagging me to clean up my room. Nagging. Go ahead, spell it and mark it. Okay, I'm a little bit nervous about this one, to be honest. It's a review word, and I'm not sure if you remember the rule from long ago. What's our base word in nagging? Nag. Spell nag. Go. N-A-G. Right. What kind of word is nag? One word, right? It's a closed syllable with only one vowel, and the vowel is followed by only one consonant. So, if I'm attaching a vowel suffix to nag, what do I have to do? I really hope you did it. You have to double that G, double that consonant to keep this vowel short. So, N-A-G-G I-N-G. And then you can star the other G. Nag, we said, is a closed syllable. All right. Phew. The last review word. Might have a schwa. You might need your spelling options section for this one too. Travel. Say it. Travel. Be careful. It's not travel. It's travel. Try it. All right, I gave you a big hint for that first syllable, didn't I? How do we spell trav? Go. T-R-A-V. Good. And then what did we do for the second part where there might be a schwa? Travel. E-L. T-R-A-V-E-L. Very good. Both syllables are what kind? Closed. Excellent. All right, next row, we're moving on to our current Unit 7 words. So you got to think of that Y spelling rule we were practicing earlier. The first word I want you to write is copying. You've had practice doing this already today. Copying. We are copying notes from the teacher. Copying. Go ahead and spell it and mark it. All right, we just did it. Hopefully this one was easy. Cop, C-O-P-E, right? You keep the Y because you're attaching a suffix that starts with an I, right? You don't want two I's together. So C-O-P-Y-I-N-G. And that Y, did you mark above it that it sounds like what? Long E, right? Good. Move over to number 2. The next word I want you to write is funnier. Say it. Funnier. So think of your base word. Fun, me, funnier. Spell it and mark it. All right. We all know how to spell fun. How is that? F-U-N. Now, in funny, is that word study or copy? No. So the Y doesn't want to be by itself. I hope you remembered to double that N. Yes? F-U-N-N. Did you drop the Y? Change it to an I? Good. And then ER was the suffix we circled. Fun is closed. Knee is open. And did you mark that the I sounds like a long E? Hopefully. All right. Down to the next row, number 3. I want you to write the word studying. Say it. Studying. I am studying for the test. Study, studying. All right, think of the rules. Go ahead. All right. Stud. How'd you spell it? S-T-U-D. Good. The Y is by itself, I know, because copy and study are exceptions, but it sounds like a long E, right? And since we're attaching an ing suffix, we do not change the Y to an I, right? Good. Okay, the last one that we're marking is the word, sloppiness. Say it. Sloppiness. Think of sloppy, sloppiness. Try it. All right, let's check and see. Slop, S-L-O-P. And then I hope you remembered Y doesn't like to be by itself. So did you double that consonant P? Okay. P-Y, and then ness. That Y sounds like, again, a long what? E. Yeah, all of these ones. I didn't pick any that sound like a long I today. All right, sloppiness. Now we're going to sound-alike words. The first sound-alike word I want you to write is flower. Say it. Flower. The flower smelled so beautiful. Flower. Just write it down. You don't need to mark it. Spell it correctly. Use your tools. Flower. All right. Can we spell it together? Go. F-L-O-W-E-R. And the signal was pick the flower, smell it. They smell good, right? Okay. Number 2. The word is owe. Listen to the sentence. You owe me your homework from yesterday. Owe. Spell it. All right. Let's see how you did. Spell it with me. O-W-E. O. And that O is you owe it to me. Give it to me. You owe it. All right. Trick words. Ooh, this wasn't so pretty yesterday. The first one I want you to do is maybe the harder one. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Spell it correctly. If you don't know, look it up. You have a trick word section in your student notebook, and it's hanging up in the classroom. Tomorrow. Or even if you're at home, you have a dictionary that I gave you. Use a tool. Tomorrow. All right, let's spell it together. Ready? T-O-M-O-R-R-O-W. Kind of have to make a song with it. It is a tricky one. T-O-M-O-R-R-O-W. Okay. Number 2 trick word is the word years. This time I made it plural. Years. How many years old are you? Years. Okay. Let's spell it. Ready? Go. Y-E-A-R-S. Years. Very good. And I have just one sentence for you. Are you ready? Let's go. Capital letter. Do you like... You should already get an idea of what kind of punctuation you might need when we get to the end. Do you like the tidiness, there's a Unit 7 word. Do you like the tidiness? Tidy means cleanness, right? Tidiness. Do you like the tidiness of my desk? I'll read it again. Do you like the tidiness of my desk? All right, always check. Do you have a capital? Do you have the correct punctuation? And then when you're confident, scoop it. Do you like the tidiness of my desk? All right, let's see how you did with spelling. I'm not worried about you spelling do you like the. Confident with those ones. Did you use the spelling Y rule for tidiness? Tidy is originally T-I-D-Y, but you're attaching a suffix that doesn't start with an I, so change the Y to an I and add N-E-S-S. Of my desk, D-E-S-K. How many of you remembered that the punctuation mark in this case should be a question mark? All right, you're asking, do you like the tidiness of my desk? And the very last step that we need to do is scoop it. Let's see how many minds I read. I might do this way for this one. Do you like the tidiness of my desk? Ooh, I don't know if any of you picked that way. Do you like the tidiness of my desk? I could have done, do you like the tidiness of my desk? I could have done 2, but I do like 3 for this one. Double check yours and make sure it sounds good. All right, 3rd grade, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for working hard, and I will see you next time.